Good morning. Today we're going to talk about shorts. All right, so I got my script right here. It's pretty long, and the shorts section, just so you guys know, is like everything that I talked about, but specialized for shorts. But you can still get some value that I didn't mention for the other stuff in terms of how to really just go into like the dopamine type of hacking, how is it called? Like really just the fast pace advice. If you understand that part of shorts, you can easily just apply it onto long form content. All right. So that's the power of shorts when you think about it. We got sections such as shorts as a reach out engine, all right? Because you have to understand what shorts is, much like YouTube. Okay. Wait. Oh. To get ideas, how do you get ideas for shorts? What do people want to see on shorts? Your personal branding. The first 3 seconds, which is really important, your hook, especially for shorts. 30 to 60 seconds of the high impact talking when you're gonna do the scripting basically. We've also got shorts thumbnails and titles, easier than actual long form. Editing styles, how to edit a short, metrics, and then actions. All right. And there's also flow method to get views from shorts onto videos. Okay, sure. Yeah, let's do that right now. So, what are shorts? I just watched a quick video about the history of them, and it starts back to like Vine in 2015, if you guys remember that. There's also 2 years later, Musically, and from Musically, there was TikTok. And back then, you know that it was just dancing and music and stuff, or like funny, oh no, funny viral skits, right? But it slowly turned into more personalized content and more like actual videos 2020, and shorts was adopted especially 2021. Okay, and ever since that YouTube literally just integrated short form content into their platform. But in our strategy right here, we have long form videos that last up until 8 to 20 minutes, which are for giving elaborate explanations and messages and really getting into converting people. But for our strategy, shorts will only be useful for channel growth, you know, telling YouTube, hey, I'm gonna grow right here, and also reaching out. So I don't expect to convert many people with shorts, nor should you guys, all right? Because they can't know you in 30 seconds, literally. 30 seconds is not enough impact power for people to actually take action on something. You can shock them, which is what shorts is basically. They just want to be scrolling up and down just forever and get stimulated. But if they come across your channel and they're kind of related to God, whether they're Christian, whether they like the idea of God, or they just like discipline stuff like, you need to do this, you know, I'll especially be like that for shorts when I start making them eventually. Yeah, you literally just get emotions, right? I'm pretty sure that can also get you some recognition on YouTube. Like people will start to know who your face is, and if you really do pull millions of views like that, by really taking a unique angle, which I have some ideas for, then you can definitely get recognized. Like they'll see your face and be like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy that says Matthew 5, 6, 7. Maybe I should do it or not." You know, it's up to them. You know, so it's literally just an outreach engine. All right, and the most useful thing I can really see for shorts for the long form videos is if we actually pull long form viewers from these shorts, all right? Which basically just means watch this video next, or this comes from that video, you know? I'm over yapping about other sections, but yeah. And something else you need to understand is how shorts work. So the way that shorts work is very simple. YouTube is unique in the way that you actually get to decide which thumbnail you want to click on, all right? When you're in the home page, you have a decision making. But for TikTok, Instagram, and Shorts, YouTube Shorts, you have no choice. You're just gonna scroll and stay, all right? And that's why one of the metrics is swipe rate ratio. How many people are gonna swipe in the first 3 seconds? You know, you take that ratio, important. And Shorts doesn't really care about your messages also. They actually care about why do you hold people in, all right? It's literally about holding people onto the platform. And they're gonna reward videos that do the best of that, okay? And so early retention for these videos is very important. High stimulating type of vibe is also important. And it can be mastered, especially for our genre. It's pretty easy, okay? Retention curve for the whole video, that's something else you should watch. And rewatch signals. Yeah, these are the most important metrics for short form. And that's the logic basically. You've been scrolling so much, right? You guys scrolled for hours, I imagine. You can just like pew, 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 pew. But something that I used to say like 2 years ago is, would you rather be the one that consumes or the one that makes what people consume? And by that logic, if you keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, it's like, at what point are you gonna stop scrolling? You know, there's nothing of value there for real. And yeah, I told myself that, okay, I'm gonna stop watching that much content, I'm gonna make it, you know? And that's how I work basically. I'm a creator. Okay? So that's what Shorts is, and essentially, basically, and literally, physically, like. But then, since we understand what Shorts are, how do we come up with ideas for Shorts? We got Shorts right here, but we need the content. And the content is literally, we come up with it the same way for long form videos, except that it's really about the message, about a literal talking point, you know? Because in the Antichrist niche, like the Antichrist subject, there's 5 to 10 things you can talk about. How the Antichrist is actually your pastor, how the Antichrist is never going to show up. There's so many different angles for a specific subject. And what's important is that they actually trigger people and that they're viral, you know? Like they're actually relevant to what people think, and that they're also the truth and piercing. Bam, you know? Like it literally just penetrates the consciousness of people, okay? And so the point of that basically is saying that you can convert long form ideas into short form. And that from any of your videos that you already made, look at them, okay? You can look at them, you can look at George's videos, and from any video that you have that's long, especially if it's above 20 minutes, you have so many talking points, okay? You have 1 to 3 high impact shorts, all right? And don't forget that you can also do it vice versa. So if there's a shorts that blows up and that gets like 100,000 views, let's say, that means that this is actually a viral topic that people like, and you can turn it into a long form video. You can really just use the strategy of looping, and hey, if you do it correctly, you can get a lot of saved time and growth, for real. I forgot what I wanted to say. But basically, what I'm saying right here, taking the ideas from long form videos, it's not clipping, all right? You're not literally clipping that scene, because I really do suggest that you redo for literal shorts, that you re-record, right? And what clipping means is like, you know, podcasts from Joe Rogan. You literally see like those, hey, pull that out, Jimmy.
That's it.
You know, I'll show it right
Jamie,
here.
Pull up the O.J. Simpson music video.
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
Get
Never
used.
heard of it.
Basically, I want you to re-record these and to really practice high speaking of impact, high impact in your speech. And it's not just being loud or really being bam, 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 but it's really about using the right words in the most convincing way. Because it's shorts. People are going to scroll away if they don't understand a single second of it. All right? That's the most important. And I remember what I wanted to say. This is some great advice that you can take right now, is for any of your videos or any subject that you have, I want you to paste the transcript. So take the transcript of your videos, and then what you do with it, you ask AI, turn this into, first analyze which are the best talking points for shorts, YouTube shorts, high impact, high energy, high controversy, okay, because that's the basis of our shorts, what's going to be like. And then you ask it to turn it into ideated, yeah, you turn it into ideas of scripts, and then you just generate like draft scripts, and from these scripts you can like get 3 to 5 ideas per actual long video. You just make it. You don't even need to like edit it nicely, but just record with that script, say it with energy, confidence, and then you can see if it blows up or not. For real, like it's that simple, all right? It doesn't even take that much time. All right, so we're not clipping. And so how do we actually convert? Once again, most important things is to get controversial statements. It's to also boil down the message of each of our videos. So we can also do individual shorts for each video. Always, you should just index your ideas in a list from 1 to 100, for example. And the point of shorts is to go straight to the point and not over-explain, all right? But there's going to be some psychological tricks that you really need to understand later in the video, all right? Get some good ideas, guys. When people are scrolling shorts, what do they actually want to see? And why do they stay for on the videos? Well, it's very simple. Usually, especially with our niche, it's usually high impact talks, talking points, strong stances, controversy because people love negativity and being opposed. Controversy is going to be the basis of our shorts especially. And we have to go against the Christian narrative by saying the ugly and uncomfortable truth, all right? So that's what we can do with shorts, and that's what people resonate with the most, especially for what I can see, basically. But truly, what makes people stay? Well, it's actually with 3 R's. These 3 R's are relevance, relatability, and resonance. So, relevance. Relevance is literally just seeing the topic clearly in the first 3 seconds. If I don't know at all what you're talking about in the first 1 or 2 seconds, I'm gonna scroll away because you're not presenting to me what the video is about and I have no reason to watch, you know? So the context has to be understood within the first 3 seconds, for real, okay? What the video is about. The second R is relatability. So the topic and the way it's presented has to be familiar, right? The viewer has to connect to it somehow and to something they already know, and it's better to show your face and see who you are. So all of these 3 points for relatability, it basically just means that it has to be recognizable, first of all, and we can mostly do that through formats, okay? It's better to use your face than not to use your face in most cases, especially if you're gonna say a message like that. So don't hide yourself unless you wanna make your personality a blanket, for example, right? Like a guy come to Jesus right here, he wants to be a blanket. Nothing against that, but you know, you have to do it properly then. You have to show the humanity in you. And yeah, it's literally just about the way that you present it and the elements of relatability. If you're gonna, for example, mention a celebrity or a car brand that everyone knows or Jesus, you know, like all of these things are just relatability points, okay? And you can connect through that. That's what human connection is. I connect to you because we both have the desire to drink milk, all right? And I can make a video about milk and you're gonna relate to it. So make sure to get topics that relate to people, that you present it in a relatable way, in case it is complicated, okay? And relate to people directly. Shorts is not just gonna be about, I want to break out of the shorts, out of the literal screen and just tell to people the truth, you know? That's what I mean, okay? I'm not making another video randomly. This is literally for you. And I'll have the same energy with you guys and the millions of people that are gonna see my face with watching these videos, you know? And it should be the same to you. Talk to this camera like you talk to 1 person or 1,000,000. Just like Sun Tzu said in this quote right here. And the third R is resonance. They feel something watching it. They feel the conviction. They feel that they need to take action, which is essentially what we want them to come towards, okay? And this feeling of getting something emotional, that can be done psychologically, obviously. First by getting them to chase the thing and then watching till the end of the video for the payoff, which is 101 of psychology for shorts. And What's also important for you guys, if you actually want to grow on shorts and in YouTube in general, is having uniqueness, all right? Because being unique is important. The more unique you are, yeah, you basically just have to be more unique than AI slop, than faceless channels, than most people just talking because we want to connect with people. That's essentially the thing. And something with a somewhat high barrier to entry. Okay, that doesn't really matter. Basically, find unique angles. I'll give you one example. I literally just imagined this randomly, but imagine I make my shorts. It'll be kind of weird to be in a suit and tie, but that's what I always visualize. Imagine just a guy with a noticeable outfit, right? And he literally just gets followed by camera, and the guy chases the camera. Not like this, but like walking. I'll just visualize it right here. Wait. All right. So imagine there's literally a camera following me, like the guy in the shorts, and I'm walking like this. Not like that, but you get it, with power. I have my microphone, and then I literally just talk my points, bam, bam, and the whole video is like following you while there's like a bit of things happening around. It can mostly be editing, like hell or heaven. And while I'm walking, there's literally just these two things that appear in editing. Or it can also be like, dude, I love my mind. It's like, if you want to make a shorts about turning the other cheek, I literally just walk and then there's a guy slapping me. Yo, come on, man. There's so much we can do. What are you guys doing? You guys better be using my mind, because bro, I got so many ideas. Yeah, so basically this is what we can definitely do. I want one of you guys to literally do that. And if you're not gonna do it, I'll do it, and it's gonna be the unique angle that I'll use to actually get people to watch my shorts, because one, it's unique, and two, it's gonna be the harsh truth. People love controversy, and that's what it takes to grow, literally. Yeah, that's such a great idea. Literally just walking, all you need is to pay a cameraman who can actually like stay onto you like this, and then, you know? Yo, I love this idea. Yeah. But you get the point, basically. That's what it takes. I'll give you more ideas. I don't know where to find it, like right away, but there's a lot of documentaries or just random videos on YouTube about how this guy made it, how that guy made it. Oh, how did what's his name? The black guy that literally does, you know? Like that guy, how did he make it? Mekape, I don't know. Okay, so these are the 3 R's basically. And I want you to, for residents, find a unique angle which is actually gonna go viral, you know, if you're that type of guy. But I don't expect it from you guys, it's fine. Just make videos, shorts. People like to get triggered, yes. People love to get triggered. Even if they say, oh, I hate it, I don't like it. If you look at it from the angle of action, like love is action, hate is action, if you compare it to actions, then they're still literally just looking for these shorts. They love to just look at things that trigger them, okay? So they can say whatever they want, but they still scroll to things that trigger them. That's why most Christians, they love to watch our videos because it literally triggers them. They love drama. You know, these crazy people just love drama. And I'm crazy too. I love energy. I love being triggered. I love whoa, 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 you know? All right, so there's 3 main points of how people actually get triggered. So, identified something like identity threat. So when we say that you guys are Christians, you go to church, but that doesn't save you, that's attacking their whole foundation of being a modern day Christian, all right? You've been lied to, like that's like the example sentence of you've been lied to this entire time. Your stance is wrong, okay? There's also the authority conflict of using triggering people. The sentence of example right here is even expert miss this. It's basically just saying, oh, your church pastors even just missed this, or it's also using authority like Jesus said this. the simple two words of Jesus said catches Christians' attentions immediately. It even catches my own attention. When you scroll on shorts, everyone says Jesus said, Jesus said, Jesus said. What did he say? We want to know. And then we also want to know what you're going to say about that authority claim, right? So using authority is quite important. And the last point for triggering people, the most important one, which we're going to look at psychologically, right now I'm edging you towards that, is curiosity gap. All right, we already talked about it in scripting, but for shorts, it's even more intricate and more dumbed down into simplicity. So the way that it presents, itself through a sentence is nobody talks about this, right? It's a bad example, but you get the point, basically. Okay. Santé. So, what do people want to see? I think that people are slowly getting fed up with all the AI content, all the slop, all the fact that there's a lack of authenticity. So that's why personal branding is important. And even if there's going to be a lot of AI revolutions, people getting replaced, I think people slowly come back to wanting more authenticity. So we're going to talk about your personal brand, how you present yourself. We already said that seeing you face to face is better than just not seeing your face whatsoever. And it's important to also have your quirk, all right? So you can be whoever you want. Imagine from the perspective of actually knowing you, meeting you, being friends with you for so long, we're gonna know about you. But people on shorts, they don't know you whatsoever. So the only two things they're going to see is your face, right? How you express yourself and all of that. But then they're going to see your quirk. And so your quirk is what makes you special on the shorts. And so what I define a quirk is like a gift. So something that you know a lot of, and also motivation for that. Your quirk is going to be the guy that, here's your quirk. You're going to be the guy that tells everyone to do Matthew 5, 6, 7. Okay? I'll give you examples of quirk. Look at Mr. Beast, for example. His quirk, entire personality summed up into one sentence, his obsession with YouTube. That's his thing. Casey Neistat's obsession with improvement. All right? Gordon Ramsay, if you summarize it in one sentence, he hates mediocrity and he wants to perfect everything. Okay? So you can see how personalities can be really dumbed down into one sentence, and which your humanity, who you are, you project it into that one sentence, and that's what you need to show in terms of energy for your shorts. And truly, I have become the guy that wants to tell everyone about Matthew 5, 6, 7. Or you can take another angle that's very similar of love everyone. You're the guy that when they see you, they think of, oh, you should love everyone. Or another guy is like, oh, he's against religion. Like he's against Christianity. Or another guy, that I personally want to be this one actually, is the one who says the truth. Speak out the truth, you know? I want to take that as a personal angle, as a quirk basically. So you get the point. We have to make it so simple. Everything on shorts is just simplified. What people should also recognize instantly is, of course, you as the personal branding, but then three other things, which is tone. What is your tone? In terms of personality, for example, I'm bald. Sometimes I can be calm, but when I need to say something, I'll definitely say it in an aggressive way, without any aggression in my mind, but I'm literally saying it directly to you. Other guys might be like more calm, and some of you might be more authentic, you know? But the point is, play around with your tone and find your tone. In terms of the stance, that's something else that people should instantly recognize is what you actually believe. And through your shorts, that's what people are going to build up, you know? When they scroll 10 of your shorts, they're going to see who you are for real. And what your beliefs are, basically. What do you stand for, even? Everyone has to stand for something in this life. And then the third thing is how you convey that, which is your emotional energy. Are you passionate, you know? It's about how much passion do you really have? How much conviction do you have? It's basically just conviction type, yeah. So that's the things that people have to recognize instantly. And something else that I had, missing layer it's called, strong shorts creators repeat one dominant emotion. Yeah. So basically just be consistent with it, and you should have like a dominant type of emotion throughout your shorts. I'm not saying to completely limit yourself, but if you are the conviction type, go all in onto it. If you're more of the inspirational type, go all in on that. Or if you're just the guy that likes to take it more analytically, oh well, actually I studied blah blah blah, like just go into whatever your personality is basically, you know? If you're a nerd, go 100% into being a nerd. If you're crazy like me, go 100% crazy like me, for real. Like, karate, boom, you know? And the last one is identity rule. Viewers should be able to describe you in one sentence. I already said that. Yeah, he's the guy that challenges the church. He's the guy who says the truth. I already said that. Cool. So that's personal branding. People need to recognize you, not because of your ego. So don't confuse this at all with like pride or ego. But if you actually want to make shorts and grow on YouTube, people have to know who you are. Okay? And it's not about ego or pride. It's not about sheer personal branding for yourself. You're just doing it so that people can recognize you and you can actually grow on YouTube to spread the message. All right? That's personal branding for shorts. Now, let's get into the hook. How do you hook people? So, the hook is basically what's going to make people decide whether to stay on the video or not. And the decision is truly made in the first second. Go on your phone right now, go on Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram Reels, scroll, and see how for most videos you're gonna scroll in within the first second because you don't find that content interesting. Even if it's like a thing of 1 million views, you scrolled past it. So really, it's about scrolling or not scrolling the video. And so how do you hook people into actually staying and not scrolling away? You have to hook within the first 3 seconds. There's 3 main types of hooks. No, 3 important elements of the hook, which is visual, audio, and text. All right? And this is mostly related to the scripting and the editing, but let's talk about it anyways. Visual hook is basically what people see first thing. It stops the scroll visually, and we have to add images that are appropriate and motion. So what that essentially means, you can honestly just check out this video right here from John Scott. He's the one that taught me a lot of these elements right here. You don't even need to watch me if you want, right? But visual hook is just what appears on the image. If the first second is a woman, I tend to notice that even if it's just a woman in a provocative pose, people are gonna click even on the thumbnail of the shorts, basically. If it's something intriguing like a I don't know, like a skeleton getting hanged. I don't know why I visualize that. What else is a good example? If like the world is on fire, people are gonna click. It's basically literally like the first image that you present, right? And it's usually better than just having your face in the first 3 seconds only. You know, you add an element. And what motion basically means also is that this image is actually like moving, okay? Don't use... If you're gonna use shorts, my basic tip for editing is do not use still images, all right? People won't really watch it. Sure, if it's like a Jesus PNG, you can put him there, but like for 1 second only. But motion should definitely be throughout the video, and the first 3 seconds should be kind of hyper edited like that, okay? Visually. Secondly, we got the hook, the audio. So what people hear first. People will first hear your voice, but there should also be sound effects or music potentially, or like the sound effect of the ring, you know, that's also pretty good for hooking people into the audio if it's a talking point shorts. And the ambience of the, like what ambience is basically just the environmental noise. Right now, I'm in a nice little town. I hear the birds, I hear the little roads from the side. and I hear the echo of my own voice. All of that is ambience. So in the same way, your shorts has also needs this ambience. It needs a vibe to it. Okay? And you just have to do it like properly with audio cues and whatever. Correcting your audio, hopefully you do that, like you get a nice microphone or something. You don't need a nice microphone, you just need to find the right settings and a good enough microphone, right? And the last thing is text hook. When you see like a joke, for example, like, oh, grandma did this, and that's like the caption, you know? You just add like a quick caption in the middle, like in the middle a bit above or a bit below. And this text hook is going to basically give context to people, and that text hook should also be read and people get curious to see what's at the end of it, you know? And so when you see the opportunity, add a text hook. It's really good actually. What people read first. And so yeah, use visuals of the words that you put on your screen to enhance the message and to also clarify the message in case like there's no relevance basically, you know? And also people get familiar to that context again. Voila. These are the three main elements for hooks. And in terms of scrolling, action, scroll through talking people shorts and find the best hooks. So yeah, I basically just gave a very quick action that you can do right now. It's to basically scroll on a lot of talking point videos, shorts. Talking point meaning that it's people giving a message. You're not just gonna scroll on the fun ones. Pardon. You find the channels that do so. And then you take the best hooks. Because right now, we're gonna look at many examples of hooks right here, okay? All right, so how do you create a good and awesome hook? So you make the sentence that you're saying very clear and you deliver the promise of the video basically. So here's a simple way to do that. Here are 3 ways to improve your gut health. Very clear, and the promise is you're gonna get ways to improve your gut health, okay? Every video needs a promise basically. By the end of this video, you're gonna understand why people deserve to go to hell, like the last video of Oscar. And with each sentence that you say in hooks, especially in the shorts itself, every sentence needs to be psychoanalyzed like a maniac, all right? It really has to be that precise. Make it relevant by seeing you, right? So you're making it about a viewer once again. And like I said, controversy is the key to our shorts. And that's why contrasting is very easy to do. So contrasting meaning that we take the position A, so like opinion A, and then opinion B is us, right? And we just show the difference basically, okay? So in another way, if we want to see it for the reason of here are 3 ways to improve your gut health, A is the common opinion of the people and B is the solution that you're bringing, right? And that's basically 101 of problem solving, okay? And so contrasting will immediately create curiosity, like no matter what, literally. And so that's how you can create one example of a hook about the contrast and delivering a promise. I've got some other hook examples. There's a lot of them. I'm gonna react to them live basically, but yeah, I don't know anything about hooks because I haven't used any of these, or have I actually analyzed the shorts hooks. But there's John Scott who can tell you about all of these things about shorts, especially for hooks. And he has a thing of 50 euros. It's a one-time thing, so you don't need to buy it every year or every month. But 50 euros to get a website that shows you the best hooks. Honestly, this is a scam, unless you're really gonna go into shorts for real. But from experience, that's the only way that we can figure out what works or not. I don't know if people will stay more on the video if I use a sentence like, I wish I knew this before blah, blah, blah. Or here's 3 things every white person needs to know. 3 things Christians need to stop doing. Like, we don't know which ones of these work. But I'll figure it out a way that we can actually get these hooks, and I will make a list of these hooks. If you check out my Google Drive, you will find a bunch of these resources. I already stated some hook elements, right? We're gonna see which ones works basically, but let's read through them just so you guys have an idea of what that is. All right, hook examples. I wish I knew this before. Here's X things every white person needs. So here's 3 things every Christian needs. 3 things Christians need to stop doing. Most Christians will hate this. You've been lied to your entire life. This verse changes everything. Jesus said, yo, that's like a rehook basically. A rehook. Throughout the shorts, you're obviously not just gonna have that first hook, but throughout the video, you have to add stakes, you have to add a progression, and you can always just rehook by saying Jesus said. That's great, actually. What your ex says about you, stop doing X, stop doing Y. X and Y are just variables that you can interchange. And then I have this long list of hooks, which comes from an Indian video. It just like listed 33 hooks separately. Don't count on it, okay? It's just literally there for your, not even for use, just look at it, get an idea of what a hook is. Like I said, I don't know much about hooks, so I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna find some great hooks, and you guys, for yourself, you should practice it, all right? Simple. All right, we covered hooks. We covered the first 3 seconds in a very basic way, but most of it is going to come with practice, and you'll know what works or doesn't after making like 20 great hooks if you're really gonna put effort into it, right? And the advice that I'm always gonna give you is use Claude. I prefer Claude instead of ChatGPT for a reason that obviously it's like more aesthetic, more appealing, but also it understands more of human psychology. Like it actually talks to you like a person. It might be my own bias from experience, but I really do see it work. And all the other guys about shorts taught me to use Claude instead. So use Claude to generate the best hooks and learn about these types of hooks. You should make a bank of these hooks and see which ones applies to that topic or this way of making a video, like literally just that. So before continuing this video, make sure that you have a list of hooks, right? So you develop a list of hooks if you're gonna make shorts. You develop a list of ideas for shorts. I added I didn't check out the shorts that I produced from the George points, but you should check it out also, okay, in resources. And now we're gonna move on to the shorts itself. What happens after you hook people? So after you hook these people into your shorts, you have to maintain their attention. You have to keep them up until the end. And how do you do that? The most basic thing that you need to understand is not giving them the full answer, but opening a question and then closing the loop at the end of that shorts. Simple as that. That's literally Psychology 101 of videos. I'm so ashamed I still didn't learn it before. Okay, so basically the simple framework is that one video equals to one idea or one talking point about God, one statement basically, equals to one emotional payoff. All right, remember that framework. Okay, I'll put an equation up on screen. In terms of speaking, how you will speak, you have yourself as the personality, your personal brand, and you have to go straight to the point, be clear, be relatable, all of these things. And the way to go straight to the point, when you're going to script basically, you'll see yourself wanting to add, I need to really add the sentence, but truly you have to reevaluate what is the most essential thing. So really cut down all the fat. You're going to try to write like a short that is 2 minutes long, cut it down to 1 minute. You know, you have to learn how to go straight to the point and how to deliver all of this within even 1 minute. You don't want to surpass that, really. Shorts are usually 30 seconds long also, or even shorter. So you better get to the cutting of the fat. In terms of structure, let's talk about it right now. It's a bit confusing how I wrote it here, because I learned more about it now, but the structure is basically, it starts off with a hook, and that hook adds immediate tension with the statement. You make a statement and that causes tension instantly, okay? And then what you need to do is open curiosity loop. And this is critical, all right? You open the question by the statement, most Christians go to hell, okay? And then the Christians will ask themselves, watching the video, oh, why? That's the curiosity loop. Curiosity loop, basically. And what you should do is give them a mini answer. Like, you're not gonna ever give a full answer, but you give them like a mini answer throughout that open question. And then you open up a new question in their mind. It's basically about giving them like more and more questions into their mind and answering with little breadcrumbs up until the end where you give the full answer, the full truth. Or even, this is kind of like for most shorts, but I think for our genre where we have to just speak, we have to have some curiosity, sure, but people also love controversial points too, like where we just go straight, but still listen to the structure. Hook, the curiosity loop, the way that it flows throughout the script should be wavy. So every 5 to 10 seconds should be a different sentence of different talking points, you know, like a different thing. Because if you, for a video, it's good to have like one central idea, but for shorts, you should have the central idea, but be presented in different angles, you know, or else people are going to click off because it's literally the same wave. Well, actually, when you think about it, no, we don't want that. Pay off. Screw. And then at the end of this, you basically just do the payoff, where people are like, okay, I understand. Or people can just leave triggered. Payoff basically just meaning the final emotional or intellectual release, where they understand and get the answer. And right after, the fourth like type of structure is the CTA. So you want people to come to your channel, right? It depends on your goals. If you want to make shorts to bring people to long form, or if you want to see how it works, or if you want to actually grow your shorts channel, you basically just say something like, check this video out, or comment down below what you think, or better yet, do the commandments, Matthew 5, 6, 7, which is what I'm always going to say at the end of every single video. Every of them. For real. So yeah, that's basically the basic structure of a shorts. And I'll give you more details about the curiosity loop according to my notes. Basically, make a statement, and that statement should be controversial, which will inherently create some curiosity. As soon as you close that loop, you should start another one. So as soon as you answer one of the questions in their minds, you should close that loop and start with another one, basically. And yeah, okay, an example of that in sentences is saying most Christians are lukewarm because blah, 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 and then you give the answer X. But after like 10 seconds, you say, but Y is also something that we need to consider because blah, 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 blah. And then you can give Z and then A, B, C, whatever, all right, rehook. All right, shorts, thumbnails, and titles. To me, it's interesting because titles and thumbnails for shorts is actually more primitive. It's less important than the actual shorts itself, which is quite weird comparing it to long form content because 80% of the idea and the packaging is really what makes people click and then stay for the video. But for shorts, it's about the quality. I don't know what's the ratio and percentage of people staying, like finding the video through scrolling or through the feeds of shorts, like YouTube homepage. But just make it a nice sentence for the title, and the thumbnail should have that triggering thing, like I said, the woman thing, you know? When you add like a woman, or when you add an image that's pretty just curious, provocative, or even just add text in like the first thumbnail, literally, you know? You can add custom thumbnails, but I don't think that most thumbnails do that. Basically, just figure it out for yourselves. I don't know the answer for that. You know, it's personal to you. But yeah, the core idea is like packaging always triggers people into clicking, but the content is what retains people, right? Through that triggering. Simple titles create tension without explaining anything, right? You just give unresolved problems. And the thumbnail rules, okay, I have thumbnail rules actually, even for shorts, is that emotion supersedes information. So you can say anything about God, but if you don't add something controversial to it, you can just like discard it for shorts. Curiosity over clarity in the thumbnail itself, because you don't want to give the full answer. You just want to confuse people, then like attract them. And conflict over explanation. You see like emotion over information, curiosity versus clarity, and conflict over explanation. All of these three elements and these ones, this is what the video delivers at the end, but this is what needs to be in the beginning, like a tension or a problem, okay? And missing insight that I have is CTR only matters to get tested. Retention decides scrolling. Basically, you don't really need a thumbnail at all. And titles, they should be curious and they should be good, but it's not as intricate as actual YouTube long form content, you know? Yeah. All right. So for this part of the course, the editing style, that's going to be mostly up to you because you have to do your own research and put in your own practice. I can mention all these elements, but it doesn't really matter, you know? As long as you just check the way to edit a shorts, you know? But I'll still talk about it. And you need to understand these main points I'm gonna converse about for you to use into shorts, you know? And I will actually show eventually some editing styles in the editing section. So I won't do it in the shorts, but in the editing part of the course, which is probably going to be the last one I'm going to record, number 5. I'm at number 8 now. But let's get into it. So what is editing? Editing is simply just adding attention and pace control, all right? So when you edit, you really have to value every single second of the shorts, like preciously, and you need a reason to do so, and also control the pace. So you know how shorts are very fast paced, you need to master that, okay? So there's 3 layers of editing, which is micro editing, things like cutting per sentence, you know, going into the details. Normal pace, which is just the long term of 5 to 10 seconds, you know, for example, the first 10 seconds of a shorts, it shows this emotion or it shows that loop, and then you escalate it the next 10 seconds and then again. So it's like the waves of the shorts itself. And then macro is just the overall tone and change across the video, you know, just the overall editing. Visually, audioly, why did I write that? Audioly or audio-wise, and textually, you have again these 3 things because you have to represent them visually, audioly, and textually. Basically what I'm saying is what I talked about in the first 3 seconds of a hook, that's what you need to represent in the editing. Visually, you add fast cuts, zoom shifts, smooth transitions, B-roll, which is just background footage, background rolls to reinforce whatever you're saying, right? But use it wisely, all right? Don't do it like bad, please. And background images, like this guy behind me or this element, you just like pop up a verse right here. That doesn't count for visually. We'll see. Audio-wise, you need to hook people also in the audio, so you're speaking, and then you have sound effects, music, and dramatic pauses. And textually, what you should definitely make look good, don't get the basic CapCut or whatever captions that you have below videos. Make it nice. Just like try to innovate on that at least, you know? And make the captions introduce themselves nicely. And other than that, there's also verses. So that's textually, a textual cue of people reading the verse. don't make the verses too long. Nobody's gonna read it, and it doesn't, like, it's irrelevant to just show 5 to 7 lines in a shorts. Nobody's gonna read it, and it doesn't matter if like it looks long or not. You want people to actually see the keywords within that verse. Okay. Pardon. And the general idea right here is just add your own style, because every person is going to edit differently. And when you get the basics out of the way, that's where you can start to put effort and uniqueness to your edits. So for example, you can, that depends on formats really, but you add your personal touch. For example, how I visualize things, you know, I visualize analogies like the vine and the branch, you know, Jesus. And something that's also a really easy tip for you guys, man. You're all, like, I can predict that you're all gonna start off by just recording in one like setting, in one position. But bro, try this. Change positions. Change positions of where you're gonna record. It's like me doing this every 5 seconds. Bam, and then bam. Don't do it in a weird way, but at least just change sceneries or make some evolution. If you guys want to edit, I suggest that you, if you're not going to move at all, at least just try to add convincing B-roll that kind of changes the mood or the setting, as if we're actually moving the viewer towards somewhere. You'll see examples of that. And that's the basics of editing. I want you guys to get good at it if you're going to make shorts, all right? Or else nobody's going to watch it. Okay, let's talk about the metrics. So what are the metrics? There's simpler metrics than on YouTube long form content, and we already talked about it in the beginning of this video, this module. So swipe rate. Swipe rate, what is it? Swipe rate is literally how many people stay within the first 3 seconds, I believe, or 2 or 5. I have no idea, I think it's 3. Swipe rate. Let's say that you have 50% of people that stay on the video, then that means that 50% have clicked off. Not clicked off, like scrolled away, okay? And usually 78% and above is awesome, all right? So if you can get to that, that means that your short has an awesome hook and that it retains people. Something else that's important is retention curve. So after you hooked the people with like a certain percentage, you'll see a curve from your, I don't know if the angle is, whatever. I think this is it. Or bam. You're basically going to see that retention curve like you've seen in my YouTube studios. And this is about story quality. So if you want to improve your retention curve, you have to make a better story, a more convincing flow of your videos, and just add more of these great curiosity loops, all right? Make the shorts content better, basically. And then the completion rate is how many people stayed at the end of that shorts up until the payoff. And this does depend about your payoff strength. Okay, how good is your payoff for the topic? All these metrics is literally just about holding people, okay? It's weird, they want to hold you for 30 seconds of shorts, and that's like the most important thing. Yeah, that's basically the core metric. And in terms of interpretation layers, we're gonna talk about when a person drops. So if they drop early, that means that the hook is weak. If they drop in the middle of the video, then that means that the explanation is boring. And if they drop off at the end, then that means that the payoff is weak. Bro, I can't read these notes. You get the point, basically. Metrics are very simple for this one. Number 9, I got some actions for you, all right? I got a lot of actions, actually. But I'll simplify it for you guys after reading these notes, all right? And I'll try to use my mind as much as I can right here. So what is the system? The system and workflow for any shorts, it first starts off with the idea. And in terms of the ideation, you can very simply just track the competition. See what actually works. Shorts really depends on that. It depends on what format you're going to use, what topic you're going to use, because if people can relate to it, if it's not a good idea, people will scroll away, all right? Find the best topics, basically. But right here, what I really do suggest you guys for those who are gonna make shorts, track the competition, like and subscribe to a lot of these people within the niche or even outside of the niche of Christianity. And then you observe for all of these channels that you checked, their top 10 or top 20 shorts, and you take notes on everything, all right? You look at the length, the type of editing, the context. You literally copy and you paste it into your own stuff, you know? You should also read the hook, read the transcript basically. You download the transcript either by putting it into like TurboScribe AI or another AI that will make the transcript basically of any video that you have, and then read the hook, analyze it with the things that I've told you. AI can do that very easily for you. How the speaking is and how the payoff works, how the CTA works also. And then you make a list of all of these specific things like list of hooks, list of payoffs, list of like editing styles. Like for example, I literally just record 10 seconds of a transition that I like on CapCut or that I like on any YouTube video, and I save it for myself. And when I'm gonna make a video, I'll check it out and be like, I wanna use this, I wanna use that. And as you use more and more, you're gonna see, bam, people actually like this idea. They like this element, they like this hook. So it's all about experience, really. And most of all, you should have a list of God points that you want to talk about. And this list shouldn't just be like a basic points, but converted into tension, like a controversy point, a statement basically, that can be used as an idea, converted into shorts ideas basically. So that's for the ideation part. You guys should master this if you're gonna make shorts. The second thing is producing. So how do you produce the shorts? All right. The way that you produce the shorts is by producing the script first of all. You have to be able to write a killer hook without any help with AI. You need to master what a hook is, basically. Pardon. Next to that, you should also know what a great script looks like, how to incorporate any curiosity loop, curiosity gap in any script, all right? And you should also nicely edit. You need definitely that because most of your editings are trash, like you have nothing to edit for. And overall, you should produce good shorts. So the production phase comes after the ideation phase, and this is solely what's going to determine if people are going to like appreciate your content. But think about it, idea and production, these two together is what makes millions of views. Master this. The third thing that I elaborated is diagnosis. So the data basically, data and diagnosis. You should analyze the data from what you get and spot the flaws inside of every shorts that you can improve. So you either do that one by looking at the shorts that you just made, and you can also analyze it by the statistics of the swipe rate, of how the retention curve basically, and also even the comments if they're actually going to tell you what part was good, what wasn't. All right, you self-analyze critically. You check what videos worked and what didn't work, and then you, very important, this is literally just for the diagnosis part, you have to come to the conclusion of what you're going to do more of and what you're going to do less of. So you do less of the bad things that people don't really like when watching shorts, and you do more of the stuff that they actually do like. So winning points and bad points, losing points. And the important step after that, after you analyze these things, is to scale and grow on top of what's winning. And so the concrete way that you do that is to scale video topics that work, formats that work. And the way that can look like in real life, an example, is if all of your videos about hell actually pop off and the rest doesn't. If the only things that are popular on your channel are hell topics, not even like Jesus, not even like spiritual realm, then talk more about hell. Simple as that. You just do more of what works. And I really think that this mentality works very well for shorts. All right. So do you get the points? Ideation, producing, and then diagnosis. And then you just loop again and again and again. Because shorts is that simple, guys. All right. In terms of frequency, how many shorts should you upload every single day? One is my suggestion. Try one every 30 days so you can first get the practice of the consistency and also of, I have no words. I'm like AI. Do you know the way that AI works? AI literally works by just generating off of the next word that it thinks there should be. That's how my brain started to work now. Man, AI. But yeah, basically just make good ideas, make good production of the content, and then analyze and do more of what works. And every single day, you should upload a shorts. I suggest that you, for one weekend, you can make in 7 hours, 7 shorts, 1 hour per short, or even less, I hope, for you guys. And then throughout a month, you're gonna have 28 shorts, 7 times 4. And through each batch, you're gonna analyze what you did better, what you did worst, okay? I don't want you guys to just uselessly post without ever progressing, without ever applying anything that I say. You know, every shorts really has to be improved. And you are actually allowed to improve like 1 or 2, 10%, because it really is like that. You can just upload as many shorts as you want, but the point is that within a month, you need to improve, okay? 30 days of mastering shorts, and you're gonna actually see what is it like to make shorts. You're gonna get better at it, okay? And something else I can warn you guys is actually what strategy you want to also do with shorts. That's why one of my ideas is that each of my shorts actually point towards a long form video that I have, so that I can pick up those who are actually interested and those who are not worthy, but like curious about what to hear from God, you know, about more God videos. So that's the most useful thing that I can see with these videos. And that's why your CTA should be more centered towards doing these things, like checking towards getting them to that video, okay? And you can easily do that with an end screen card, you know? Check this video out next if you want to learn more about this. Very simple. All right, so do you get the point? This is what shorts is about. And the last thing I want to show you guys before finishing this part of the module about shorts is how your growth is going to look like. So you do understand that shorts is just going to accumulate a lot of your views. It's not really going to bring you that many subscribers, especially like long-term value subscribers. There's a marketing term called LTV, which is about how long-lasting your clients are, the ones that you acquire, okay? LTV on the long-form subscribers is longer than the short-form, basically. Remember that. And your channel is going to grow though, which is the positive side of shorts. And YouTube is going to push you more towards like actually promoting you, you know? If you're uniquely just a channel that wants to make shorts, then upload shorts every day. But if you are focusing on long form videos, I really do suggest that you make shorts still, because shorts will definitely tell you what videos work and what doesn't, right? So you can save a lot of time by actually focusing on the viral ideas that work, and you really question yourself, is this actually a great video for long form content, you know? If a video of shorts, okay, I have a video idea about why there will never be another Jesus, okay? I make a video about that. If I first test it out on shorts and I see that it blows up, I'm definitely gonna do it onto the long form video first, okay? And it's also nice to make shorts like that before making long form content, because 1 minute, you're literally just seeing the main points of the curiosity loops, the topics that you're gonna talk about, and you get more of a preparation for you to actually make better long form videos. That's what I can see also as a benefit for shorts. And the last thing I wanted to mention before anything here is how your growth is going to happen. You need to be aware that there's a jail view. So there's basically like a trap on shorts, YouTube, where you cannot get above 30K views. Most people get from a layer 1 to 0 to 1K views, and then 1K to 5K, and then 5K to 30K. The reason why you won't get past 30K most of the time is because your ideas are just bad. Or the way that you produce content, it's not relatable or recognizable enough, you know? Oh, dude, I forgot about this. When you watch John Scott, you're gonna realize that a lot of the formats that people use. Okay, this is so important. How did I forget this? Wait, let me think. Basically, you're going to notice that YouTube doesn't like copy pastes. So there's, for example, YouTube skeletons that popped on YouTube, and this channel right here was the first one to actually do it, you know? But what happens is that a lot of other people are gonna copy this skeleton format and expect views. The first ones that copy, sure, they can get some views, but then when more and more people copy, AI of the YouTube is gonna detect whether that video is actually like a copy, and when it notices that it's literally just a copy that is directly connected to one, it's not gonna give it any views, you know? So if you're gonna come up with something original, you will be the first one, but you cannot copy it again and again. That's why formats actually expire way faster on shorts. You feel me? Right? So that's it basically. In terms of what do I want to say? So yeah, in terms of what AI detects as a copy, it's literally like if you use a topic that's already been said so many times, people are not going to watch it. So that's why you also need different ideas. I'm pretty sure that the truth we're spreading is going to be going viral at some point, but don't copy word for word other shorts. That's like very basic. AI of YouTube already has all of the transcripts, and they can compare which ideas have been already covered and which ones haven't, okay? So that might be one of the other reasons why you won't grow on YouTube, right? On shorts. And so yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Shorts, I can definitely just see it like I make 2 or 3 videos per week. I want to upload like every 3 days. And then within these 3 days, I can post 1 or 2 shorts, all right? It's like very simple. I'll see what it gives. I'll readapt my strategy. But now you have every resource for how to use shorts, and especially if you're going to be a shorts channel, do it correctly, right? For example, Hussein, you're doing shorts right now. You've improved your way of talking, but you're not using any of these things right here. So if you focus for 1 month to literally just improve all of these elements from the basics, you're going to become an expert in no time, and you'll actually even pass 30K views, all right? Right now you got a total of 17K views across 30 shorts, which is nice, but you need to go to the next level, all right? So I wish you all luck. I need to prepare more of the part 5, which is editing, the last part of the course that I need to prepare. And then I'm gonna make a whole actionable strategy, and that's gonna be it basically, you know? The actionable strategy is just going to be about mentioning again all of the actions you can take for your own strategy. It's going to be a general thing that you need to readapt for your own case. And then that's going to be it basically, you know. After that, I will review all of your channels, all the English speaking channels only, and critique live stream or video. I don't think I want to do a live stream. And I also want to show a complete example of how I do my videos. So for example, from how I come up with the idea, how I make the thumbnail, how I come up with a title, then how I record, how I script it before recording, how I edit it, and then how I upload it. I want to show the entire process for what I believe is going to be my most viral video. And I explain to you, and through that video, I'll explain to you every single thing that I can that pops into my mind. And you're going to see that I'm not just talking bullcrap with all of this course, but that it actually works. All right? And I want you guys to literally just, you can even just copy me. Everything that I talked about in this course, you literally just apply it, copy, and then it works for you too. But you just need to do it right. I also want to remind you guys to use my Google Drive. All right, I sent you a bunch of questions on the formulaire, the Google Forms. Some of you answered, and a lot of you guys surprisingly didn't say much about the drive. But there's so much sauce inside for you guys to use. Maybe you don't know how to use it, fair enough, but it's really up to you, because we don't know how to go to God completely, but you literally have that one path. So it's literally the same thing with this Google Drive. You don't know how to use all of it, but you don't need to. You start with the first step. So I really encourage you to use the Google Drive and to think about it, to apply all these things to practice. I can't wait to make videos again, man. I didn't make videos for 3 weeks. Oscar messaged me this morning literally saying, bro, you didn't post. What's up? I'm making these videos, man. Yeah. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. Stay safe and make sure to apply everything that I'm talking about, or else it's useless for you. All right? Let's make disciples out of these nations.